Pest Control. Written by Clint Baker. Narrated by Ben Schenkman. WC 2897. The lights flickered above S. She thought about how unusual it was that they seemed so dim compared to the previous week. She sat in the dull warmth that came from them and wondered if there was a way to fix them. The UV bulbs that kept the group's plants alive were also losing their brightness, but they had a whole closet full of replacements. S looked through their limited supply of books for an answer, but they all said they should last forever. Defeated, she walked around and asked the others. There were 20 of them in all. 5 women, 5 men, and 10 children. Their ages varied so that when one person died, another could take their place. Without names, they called each other by the bright blue letter on their shirts, G through Z. 3 rooms made up their living space. Showers, gardens, and a living space which had any food preparation needs, as well as 5 sets of 4 bunk beds with 1 white blanket on each. No pillows. S asked O because he was the oldest and had been there the longest. He only said that they had never done that before. She asked T, the most well-versed in the technology aspects of their living quarters, but she recited the books. They will last forever. S even asked the children in case they had some brilliant ideas they could have overlooked. They only shrugged and continued to play with their toys that had been passed down through the ages. S returned to the lights to look for a panel that might lead her in the right direction. She noticed the green light above the door they could never unlock was off. She approached and stared at it. They had tried to open it throughout the years, but no one could open it or break it despite all of their efforts. Until now, they'd given up. G had noticed it too. He was a younger man, around the same age as S, and had taken up to inspecting their home whenever he could. He was constantly worried about things running down despite the pleas for the others not to worry. "You see it too?" he said. "Yeah," S nodded. "Do you think we can open it now?" "I'm not sure. We should at least try first," G offered. "And if we can?" S asked. "We look outside and see if it's safe, then make a decision. We can't live here forever," G said. "Okay, I'll trust your judgment," S said. Gently, they twisted the handle, and the door opened. Before S could walk through, G stopped her and shut it, then opened it again. "I wanted to make sure I can let you back in," he said. "Go out there and see if you can get in from the outside. I'll let you in if you can't." S nodded and walked out. It was a dark hallway with doors identical to theirs on either end and one more across the hall. As G shut the door, green lettering that read Synthetech slowly darkened. S turned the knob and opened the door. She sighed with relief and let G join her in the hall where he shut the door behind them. "Should we tell the others?" S asked. "No, we need to see what's out there," G said. "If it's dangerous, there's no need to put the thought of the outside in their heads. They should die with us." "I was thinking the same thing," S said, "though we might have to compromise on if or who we tell." "We'll figure it out," G reassured. Just then, a cheer called from the end of the hallway on the left. The two exchanged looks and followed the sound. As they crept, they noticed the gentle plat, plat, plat their bare feet created on the cement floors. The contrast between silence and roaring laughter deafened them. They approached the door on the right. S put her face to the glass, but could only see a blue light. She shook her head and motioned for them to move to the last door. Once there, they knocked. The moments lasted forever as they waited. They heard murmurs of arguments on the other side. How long had they been waiting like their own? Who were they and why were they here? Why now? The door cracked open just enough for brown eyes to meet them. Hello," S said. "I think we're lost." "It's people," a woman said. "Well, don't be rude," a man's voice said. "Let them in." The woman turned back to him, and the man said louder, "Well, let them in, woman." She nodded and opened it for them. The room itself was a grand kitchen with a bar, full wine racks, and appliances in perfect condition. Tiny robots fluttered around as they cleaned, replaced food, and tended the needs of the 6 people. The robots had faded Synthetech labels and dents from years of abuse. Through glass doors, S&G saw an eloquent patio with artificial lighting. Stone paths led to large bonsai trees. "Hi," the man said. He stood up and offered a hand. "I'm sorry if I'm rude. I'm Alan." Neither of the duo took his hand. They only looked at how clean he was compared to them. All of their clothes were from centuries past but had vibrant patterns. He then went down the line as if nothing major was happening and introduced Betty, Caden, Denise, Edward, and Francine. All of them shared similar features. They all had brown hair and brown eyes with soft, tan skin. They moved together, and they nearly spoke together, too. "We are S and G," S said. "We come from down the hall?" G said. "Do you know what this place is?" "Only letters. Poor dears," Denise said. "We don't know," Edward said. "We have been here for as long as we can remember. Must be more than 500 years. S paused. She was 30. G was 33. O was 78. Had these people been here that long? "That's amazing," she said. "Yeah," Caden said. "It's been a long one. Too bad we don't have much to do. Here, let me show you." The 6 ancients showed them around. Each person had their own room with their own bed, TV, movies, video games, and books that stretched to the ceilings. Their private showers showed that they had been encased in water to reach every inch, which contrasted to the lettered people's single shower, which oozed water. They discussed that the people in better standing had been given free range of the hallway, but couldn't open any other doors. They had assumed they were the only ones until now. After the tour, they all sat in the kitchen as before. S noticed that 2 of the robots that had been serving the group slowly sputtered to the ground, lifeless. 2 more came out of the walls, picked them up, and disappeared. "Now that we have shown you our home," Alan said, "would you mind showing us yours?" S and G exchanged looks that said 1,000 words. "Maybe not yet," S said. "This is all new to us, and we need to discuss it." "It's just us," Denise said. "There's no need to be afraid. Let us come with you." "Or we can discuss it and then make a decision," G enforced. "What did you say?" Edward asked. His veins bulged and his eyes darkened. "We want to discuss how to go about this. It's also strange," G said, though no one but S could hear him. The named few were silent as they watched Edward's peculiar behavior. Had the letters known the man better, they would have known that Edward was light-hearted and passive. Him directly questioning the pair was surprising. "No," he said. His blood began to glow green under his skin. His left hand elongated into a finely sharpened blade and his right separated into silver mechanical joints. "I heard what you said. The way you said or, you elongated the O. I know who you are. You're the enemy. How could we let people like you in here? We should know better." He reached out the blade, then struck down at G's face. G fell to the ground, grasping his head. Crimson dripped from the tiny scratch. He looked up and saw Francine with Edward's mechanical arm through her chest. Glowing green blood trickled to the floor. "What are we?" Francine asked. Her body clicked, then her eyes went black like a light switch had been flipped in her head. She slid to the ground and never got back up. Edward swiped at G, but Alan and Denise tackled him, lifted him up by the waist, and pushed him back. They continued to push him despite his clawing and stabbing. They forced the robotic Edward onto the patio. They threw him to the ground, shut the doors, then using a kitchen towel, tied the handles together. Edward swiped at the glass, but all he could do was make a gentle thud against it. Alan turned around. Green blood covered his clothes. Wires dangled from a large gape in his face. A dark screen replaced his right eye. "We got him for you," he said through a broken smile. His other eye flickered off and he fell to the ground. A single robot lazily came out to clean the mess. When it was full, it buzzed up to Edward's room before its battery died and it too lied lifeless. "What was that?" G said, still holding his forehead. "We don't know," Denise said. "I promise." No one had a chance to argue. In the same way Edward took on a robot form, Denise did as well. She covered her eyes in an attempt to fight it, but the gesture was in vain. "I heard you, too," she said. "We are your superior." Caden and Betty jumped in front of their friend. The same green blood fell from their fingertips when they tested if they were the same. "Run back to your group and seal your door," Betty said. Her eyes were bloodshot like she wanted to cry, but it was impossible to do so. "I'm so sorry. We had no idea." The letters did as they were told and ran. They slammed the door to the supposed paradise before S slipped and fell. G went to help her but froze. Denise stood over S, lifeless eyes glaring down at her. She'd pulled Caden's arm off her blade and tossed it down. G sprang into action. He ran up and grabbed the technological nightmare that confirmed why the letters should be afraid. He threw her to the ground and ran to the other end of the hallway. Denise got up and chased him. He tried to open the door, but despite the others, it had no handle or doorknob. He tried prying it open, but couldn't even make it budge. He turned around to fight, but a searing pain emitted from his chest. He looked down and saw Denise's blade sticking out of his ribcage. She withdrew it and watched G fall to the ground with his face against the door's glass. His last image was that of dirt and gravel on the other side. Denise turned around for her other prey, but found it gone. She crept down the hallway, listening closely. She stopped at the letter's door, opened it, then grinned with perfect white teeth as she stepped inside. S wept as she shoved a chair under the door's handle. It was the only place she could think to go that might be safe. She didn't worry about making too much noise because the screams of her family and friends muffled her, stacking broken equipment. They must have been easy targets in their living quarters, but she could only worry about herself. G is gone, she repeated to herself through her sobs. When there was nothing else that wasn't working to put in front of the door, S huddled next to her pile. After a few minutes, the cries stopped. She wanted to check, but decided not to when she heard the monster stalking the hallway. It tried to open the door, but without luck, assumed that it was still locked. Only one computer in the room worked, which could be seen by the blue blinking light. S got up and shuffled over to it. She turned it on, out of its sleep. It blinked on. The soft light revealed a withered skeleton sitting in the chair next to it, its skin dried. It didn't resemble anything living. S turned the chair and dropped the body. She sat in it and searched the computer. Countless video files were saved on it, but she scrolled until somewhere in the middle and clicked on it. Day 628 of Synthetech Operation Spy Game, a woman said. She was dressed plainly in tan clothes and a white coat. Subjects are behaving predictably. The cyborgs respond best to auditory patterns in speech. We tried using cue words, but words such as bomb or rebel don't come up in conversation. Instead, certain dialects can be implemented to trigger them into their primary purpose. All physical gestures still have no effect, though this might be a visual sensory problem. The video ended and the next loaded. Day 629 of Synthetech Operation Spy Game. We have unanimously decided that a set of designation words should be used to activate the cyborg's kill setting. This will allow them to infiltrate and react with deadly intent. Side note, whenever one is captured or restrained, another activates so that targets can be eliminated. This is an unexpected but useful feature. She continued down the line until she became sick. She learned about the tests her ancestors were forced to endure, how they were systematically forced into the other room and killed. The cyborgs' memories were then wiped, so the human aspect of them wouldn't be conflicted with what they did. Having enough for now, S skipped to the end. Day 3224. Synthetech has forgotten me. They abandoned the project because of the racial implications our testing has created. Without a clear way to eliminate targets, our cyborg program has been deemed too dangerous for the public. When we were evacuating, I realized I forgot something in our study room and the security protocol locked me in. My codes don't work and I already know I'm not strong enough to break through the door. The explosions already went off, so I'm sure they buried us in. I can only watch the others as they exist in their separate designated living spaces. I think I have a package of peanuts and half a cup of coffee in here. What a fate. I know the solar systems are still working because we have power, but only time will tell how long they will last. The subjects we have deemed letters will be fine so long as their population doesn't go over 30, but that is a strain on their given resources. The cyborg group has been given robots to attend their needs, and they will get supplies in the hidden storeroom as needed, since the cyborg's living tissue still needs sustenance, though very little at a time. I will watch and make what I have last as best I can, but I have my doubts. This video cut out as the power to the room was finally lost. S curled her legs into the chair and held her knees. There was still 2 more of the cyborgs out there, and she learned no real way to stop them. She knew she could deal enough damage to them that they couldn't work. She thought that maybe she could trick one into killing the other and somehow contain it again. But how? She thought. She turned the chair around to face the door. She stared at it as she tried to make a decision. All she could do was try to contain Denise. S laughed. Out of exhaustion or comedy, she had no idea. She thought about how harmless they seemed at first, especially with their realistic exteriors. She stood from the chair and started removing everything from the door. She had to try something. Anything. In her effort, S would survive, if at least only for a little while.